Casey Hernandez. I am the office manager at Coronado Real Estate Group at Equity Union in Sherman Oaks. And I'm here with Charlie.
Charlie Coronado here, Managing Director, Principal Owner, Coronado Real Estate Group. Been a licensed broker for 20 years, going on 20 years. This is my 20th year in the real estate business.
Longer than me. Today, we're going to go over marketing. Why is it important and what you should be doing now and what are antiquated practices?
This, as you know, it's been a pleasure having you for the last 24 months. I've seen you transition and grow into your position. And to be honest, due to you and a few others, I've noticed that I had to change and transition my business completely upside down. And I'm going to go into that and elaborate right now. In the last 24 to 36 months, our business, our real estate industry has gone through different transitions. And it's been, honestly, it scared me. Those days of taking nice little drone videos, doing 2 to 3 minute walks throughout the house, putting it on the MLS and letting the MLS send it out to the different little subsection sites.
Why was that important? Like, why did people choose to do that, or agents specifically in this scenario?
That's a good question. So prior to that, we never had drone footage. You were lucky to have pictures professionally done and edited. So that was kind of, but having that, I got in the business where there was Realtor.com was brand new. We were the source of information for the consuming public. I remember the days where I would have my list of properties. This is before WinForms came out. This is how long I've been doing this. I've been in the business since 2003, and I believe you were born in
2001.
2001. So things have changed, and I learned early on from my business mentors and the people that helped me is either you adapt or die. Either you are improving or you are getting left behind. There's no middle ground. And that's one of the things that really scared me. So those days of where you meeting your client at a particular property and then you driving from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to 4, and them being surprised with what they're seeing are long gone. Nowadays, and I used to have a MapQuest directing me from one property to the other this is, I think the Genie was brand new. I did have a Thomas guide in my car. There were no iPhones. You had flip phones, but it's different. So now when you go to a property or when a client calls me, they've seen the property. There's now with Realtor.com, Redfin, Zillow. These companies have really stepped their game up and for the better. But our clients are being educated more and more and are being less reliant on us agents.
So what makes you say that agents still have value with all of these websites?
And that's a very good question. So as you've heard me say this in the office, this is a value-based business. The moment I lose my value, I become obsolete. So where do you bring your value? And that's one of the things that I need to demonstrate and showcase to my clients and the consuming public. And it's by my knowledge and being able to adapt to my surroundings. Like I mentioned before, we are vying for the attention of our clients. So listings are still key, and I firmly believe will always be key in this. Again, it's not to say that if you're a buyer's agent, you're not going to do well. Yeah, you can do very well, but I'm old school where I was brought up, and taught to have listings.
Yeah. So as you are old school, so obviously old school is, as you mentioned, uploading to the MLS,
Yep.
Postcards. So are you saying postcards are no longer viable?
No. Postcards are an integral part of our business. Remember, we just have to switch or shift or change our content. Now, as you probably know, we've done a paradigm shift from our print advertising is what I call it. There's still value there. Okay, it's just part of it's as opposed to it being the main entree. Like postcards are like the garnish. they're good to have, but we shouldn't be reliant on it, solely. Now, again, my wife sends postcards. I send postcards.
But what's different about the postcards you are sending?
The difference is there's a call to action. There is value provided to them that is not just the property. So what I mean by that is we've added QR codes where you have a sneak peek tour of the property with drone video, but it's just different. It's not me walking around the property. It's through my videographer, and he walks you through the property quickly if you want to, or we have I always butcher this one, the Matterport, where it kind of walks you through, but we have something like that beforehand. On top of that, we also have downloadable guides we just sold one, we just got it under contract on Hartsook, and we provided our first Sherman Oaks real estate guidebook there.
It's a neighborhood guide. It showcases what you can do in that area.
Yep.
It's very beneficial for people who don't know the area or they're moving to, or if honestly they've lived there and they didn't know the options that they could have.
Absolutely. So again, it's just giving them information readily accessible. And it's just things that are trending and are appealing to buyers right now. We have to separate ourselves. We have to create content aside from just showcasing our beautiful pictures and saying, hey, or having catch slogans. Again, those are important. But let's remember, this is a value-based business.
I would like to say that with QR codes, obviously they've been around for the last couple of years, but how you use them is so important.
Exactly.
Because you can link all your social medias. Like, people don't want to go to their Instagram app and look you up. If you literally add the QR code, you can add multiple things in there. Yep. You have your social media, and then they just click a button and they can automatically go to it. And you can link, obviously, your YouTube. But why would they follow your YouTube? So you need the content there already.
Yes.
Obviously, with that neighborhood, or even the analytics of that area. And you can even link a video. Sometimes people don't want to use their social media to go, but you can still provide them a little glimpse. Yes. And it might take them in, and then they will go to your social medias.
You said something very key right there about the analytics.
Of course I did.
The analytics. So the analytics are what is driving my marketing. I'm not just throwing darts and hoping to land on red or my number. It's a number-based business. What is trending? I can analyze how long a client is looking at a particular picture in a particular neighborhood, and for how, all these variations. This is all valuable information and content that I need that I can use to help sell the property I'm selling. So creating and using analytics to spearhead my transition into, I guess, the 21st century of marketing is the catalyst. Again, it's a value base. And now remember, we're doing neighborhood guides, which is nice. The 5 top schools in the neighborhood, stuff that's important, but that they can get somewhere else. And I get that, but there is missing.
We just make it easy.
We make it easy, but we also add the component. That's why, remember, us agents, we are getting less and less important as each day goes on. If we do not do something about demonstrating or showcasing our worth to our clients, then we're going to become obsolete. Those days, again, you can have a catch slogan, you can have all that, but at the end of the day, it's a number-based business. So the moment you lose value, that's it. But again, from the QR code, there's a plan, there's an attack, there's a business plan. And what I mean by that is, so we direct them. And the QR code, we also have another section where you can sign up and register for our weekly market update.
Yes, very important.
And that is email. Email is still important, but now there's a certain way to go about it. We are strategic, as you know, with our email marketing campaigns. We are with our call to actions. This way, we just don't send random stuff, because guess what? You're going to go to spam. And then once you go to spam, then forget about it. You're done. You become obsolete.
And I want to know, it's very important to almost have sections. Yep. So if they're an investor, if they've already reached out to you, they're an investor. Yes. Obviously, why would you send them things that don't correlate to them? Yes. They're going to think you don't know what you're doing. It's unprofessional that you're just sending unimportant, not relevant items to them. Or if they're a first time buyer, or if
Yes.
you have a specific marketing for that neighborhood, let's say that is your farm, that is your area,
Yeah.
then obviously put them in the section they want to be.
Yep. So, and that's important because that's one thing that we probably spent all of December, basically the last quarter of the year, I was prepping to get ready for this upcoming year. When, especially during our downtime, we were updating our CRM, putting each client in different campaigns and buckets, because the one thing I don't want to do is send one email to a big batch of people and it becomes white noise. They forget about you. So we've created a way where we send out 2 emails per week, and one is based on what's happening or occurring in the neighborhood that I farm. So as you know, we farm Northeast LA, which encompasses Nila, which encompasses, Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Mount Washington, Echo Park, Silver Lake, Lincoln Heights, El Sereno, Atwater, Frogtown, Solano Canyon. So these Northeast Los Angeles is the area that I grew up in, but I've also, with my, I own property there with my wife. So I've just known the area and I've seen it transition, but I've also seen the people become smart about the content that they read. So if you're not producing the content, guess what? The next person who's providing it, and that person can have 1 year or literally a month in the business and provide more content than someone that's been in the business for 20 years. And guess who's most likely going to get the call or say, hey, you know what? You're providing this such rich content. I need help with help. I don't want to sell my house, but I'm looking to buy an income property, or they have a question. You know how many times we get countless questions from our marketing, and it has nothing to do with the property we're buying, but we stay on top of mind. They're like, hey, you know what? That's important because, hey, yeah, you might not like the house we're trying to promote, but at the very least, if we've educated you and you say, hey, that was interesting, that's a win for me.
And it's so important to have quality content.
Yes.
What I mean by that, obviously the information is good. But when I say quality, people want to see like crisp. Yep. Which is, I know I do. Like if I'm scrolling and I see a really blurry video, odds are I'm not going to watch it.
Yep.
So that leads me to, I see a lot of agents still to this day just post their iPhone quality photos. Not even the iPhone 14, literally iPhone 6 quality photos where there's people in the background and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, do I even want to see this property? And you should talk about like, what is the difference between a professional photo? Like, how does that add value if they're going to see the property anyways?
Yeah. Well, first off, that's my competition. And trust me, I get it. I've been in situations where I have to add 1 or 2 pictures that the photographer missed or I wanted to add, but those are 2-3 pictures, not the entire with my phone. So high quality pictures are obviously wide angle lenses. Sometimes we use twilight. Again, I'm not saying we are going away from what's worked in the past. We can still use it. We just have to, we have to adapt with it. So again, we still take procedures to get the property ready to showcase it, having it clean and whatnot, having it organized. And that goes into our marketing where we prep and educate our clients and saying, hey, these are the 10 things we're going to need to have us ready prior to us getting my videographer in there, my photographer in there. If we're going to do a video or multiple videos, I mean, it's a production. To go back on what separates it, a photo shoot should consist of having a videographer that will take obviously the photos, that walks the property, that will essentially go the extra mile, man. He'll say, hey, let's make the bed, or if something's off, hey, let's fix it. That someone that cares, obviously, but that goes without saying, but they also digitize the photos. I think there was a photo shoot where we accidentally left something on the bed.
A sweater.
And it was for
Wasn't me.
It was me. And this was just for a coming soon. I'm not talking about the actual photos we're going to use to promote the property on the MLS. This is a coming soon where my videographer had to digitize it to make it look good. So again, surrounding yourself with talented people, but also having people around you of like mind. So you have to have a direction and a vision, obviously, that will trickle down. It starts from the top and you work your way down. I'm a firm believer with that. So
I know that you mentioned a marketing plan. And I know plenty of realtors that don't supply that to their clients. And honestly, I think that's so, so important because the client's like, what are you doing? Like, oh, you say you're going to market, but how?
Yes. Well, that's no better question. So essentially I'm big on numbers. As you know, I source where every lead I get. I know where every deal comes. And what's helped me this year is obviously having, well, but it's also, for example, so just so this year, the biggest obstacle we had was finding a strong, reliable videographer, or it's not even a videographer. It's more of a marketing guru in the sense of what I mean. We have we put time and effort into this. And just like anything, if you feed it and water it, it's going to grow and flourish. It might take some time. But for example, what do we do on Mondays? Mondays, we have our market. We spend, a half hour, 45 minutes on a conference call with me, you, and the videographer. And we talk about what we're going to do this coming week. And then we probably have a brief conversation on Tuesday and we record all day Wednesday. But the most important part of this all is what happens afterwards, is when we debrief. And the debriefing part is, hey, that worked, that didn't work. We could have tried this, we could have done this. And you just keep adapting and keep improving. So having the team around you, but having a robust marketing plan, you're going to hear that. And I had to learn what that meant because it's... I honestly, before you joined the team, I didn't know what TikTok was. I did not know.
You guys should watch my TikToks. They're great.
I did not know what YouTube Shorts were. I did not know the key. I didn't know that. I was traditional Instagram, Facebook. You post it and that's it. But you can learn this. You just have to be able to.
Something key about if you really want to take your marketing to the next level, make yourself a plan. Start at the beginning of the month. Be like, how many times do I want to post?
Yep.
What type of content do I want?
Yep.
What type of content? Do you want not just the information, but do you want videos? As he was talking about, do you want TikTok videos? Do you want stories? Do you want actual posts on your feed? The reason that's so important is because once you plan it out, it doesn't seem so scary. For example, because we do make video content on Monday, as you mentioned, we talk about it. Wednesday, we film. Thursday, we go over it. And Friday, obviously, we have the content for next week. And that just makes it so scary. That was one of our main problems, was that we're like, oh, this is so hard. We don't have time. Yep. But if you truly want to do this, you just have to make a schedule and stick by it. I know it can seem hard, but once you really get started, it's a cakewalk.
And use the same mentality. We went through, I think, 3 videographers. Two. The first one was us trying to do it ourselves, and that's
I'm not a videographer.
Yeah, that didn't go very well. I didn't know about the editing part. Well, I'm like, oh, that's hard. And then we hired someone, which he did a fabulous job for the first month.
It's just, I think it's important that not every videographer is going to be for you.
Yep.
When I say that, Amen. Means they might have a different style. Yes. They might have a different vision. Yep. And you can try it out and you guys it's not cohesive. So it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty. Be like, hey, this doesn't work out. But I appreciate it. And then I'm just going to find somebody else that suits my style a little more. That has nothing against any of the videographer.
No, it's just different. It's just different. There's a bunch of realtors out there, and there's what we do. We're not for everybody. But I feel like we put the client first, and I felt like it was a disservice to our clients because we weren't doing our very best to improve our craft. This is my craft here. So creating the content, but also getting training and coaching and getting accountability. It all stems from that. And being able, the one thing that I advise my fellow brethren in the business is we have to put our pride aside. We have to get humbled. We have to surrender. We have to say, hey, you know what? This person might know more about this than I do. And I'm one of those two guys. I like to be right. But we got to put our pride aside and say, hey, he might know better, and let's try this out. And we shoot all day Wednesday, and from that shoot, we have our content for the following week. So some weeks we have a board. It's over here, and I'll show you. So we call it the brainstorming board, and we have different topics and themes that we want to shoot. On top of that, we also remember current events. We shot one video for the Dodgers opening day, and we tied it all in, and it worked out perfect. And you're like, oh, I would have never thought of that. So having a creative team to get you through this will help you. And you're like, oh, that was awesome. And then we just add this, and not being scared to fall, not being scared to fail is that's my saying. I'm like,
I fail all the time. Like I say I'm gonna go to the gym and I don't. Like, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I get that. That's what I mean. Like, but like if it flops, even better. Like, let's mess up royally. That's what I mean. Like, but we have to remember that it's not about us. It's about providing content that is viable, that is purposeful, and there's a plan behind it. So that's what we're constantly trying to do. Obviously, like we're shooting this today, and later on we're going to shoot our coming soon for our new listing in Los Feliz.
On Huxley.
And
right next to Griffith Park, if you're interested in buying in that area.
So we'll show you the before, how it looked, and the after. So, and this is a clear example of how
he's kind of an interior designer.
Sometimes as for my fellow brethren, real estate agents that have been in the business, we are part-time therapists, part-time psychologists, part-time wet nurse. We're everything. So, and in the last, I would say that's something that I've taken pride in the last 5 years. I've where I go in and say, hey guys, the easy thing would have been to just list a property. We probably would have listed it for about $525 because it just needed work. And we go in there and we say, hey, thinking outside the box and say, well, if we did X, Y, or Z and we invest, and it's an investment, I think the client ended up paying, $10,000, including staging. We were able to know the pulse of the neighborhood. We didn't have to change. We didn't have to replace cabinets. We didn't have to replace countertops. We didn't have to do much. We just painted and we used our imagination.
We have literally 2 whole videos on that you can check out on our Instagram page regarding budget-friendly interior fixes or budget-friendly exterior.
See, content like that is important. That's something that I wish I would have seen. If I was a buyer, I'm like, oh, okay. I might not want to buy this condo, but you're like, oh, that's interesting. I might want to do that for my house. That's what I mean. Like, we have to improve our content. We have to improve our game, essentially. For
so marketing isn't just about posting.
Yep.
When he was going into that, like, if you know you're good at marketing, if you know you have to make these changes, like the color of the cabinets, the color of the walls, or even the style, the lifestyle you're selling in the house, you have to know that before you even get started. And once you know that, you have the vision, and then you make those changes, and you're like, this is how I'm taking my marketing to the next level.
And again, when you create your marketing, it has to fit your needs. It's got to be towards you. So
another important thing is slide dial. Do you know what slide dial is?
Slide dial is real simple. It's where it's just an announcement to the neighborhood that we are promoting a property. especially in a property that is not your farm. It's very helpful because it allows you to send text messages voicemail messages to the surrounding homes announcing, saying, hey, there is, 2628 Hartsook property coming to market. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. For more information, check our site. We just give them information on it. And it's just simple, easy way to reach a lot of people. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But again, that's still the garnish. The main course should be the planning, the creativity, and and executing. That should, and just keep evolving, because being able to adapt, because that's just a small piece of
I do want to cover why slide dial is important, because usually if people already live in the neighborhood, maybe they're renting.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're an owner and they want their family to come live like in that area. We see that all the time. If there's a family with a daughter, they're like, oh, my parents are getting older, or my siblings they want to move in the area, and it's essential that they live close together. If you're a close-knit family, like I know Charlie is, that you want to see each other around holidays.
And the fun part is all this could be automated. And that's part of it. Like, you have your list of stuff that you do, and you just follow the instruction. But it's like anything. You're putting in the time, having a team, having smart people around you to how to leverage it. In the last month that we've been kind of using our new videographer, I've learned so much, and I'm like, oh wow, that could be a video. Oh, that could be a video. And it's just by switching, being able to listen and being able to just listen and adapt to it is key. I feel like the character Neo in the movie The Matrix, where he's like, why do my eyes hurt? And the Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne, comes in and says, hey, man, your eyes hurt because you've never used them. That's how I truly feel right now, because I've been in this business so long, and I've learned so much in the first quarter of this year by to start off with getting coaching and training. Okay, there's something to be said. We all, as real estate agents, we love going to seminars. And one thing my mentor says, you're going to come back and do 1 or 2 things, and that's a big victory. Most likely you're not going to do much. You get so amped up, and I think, Casey, you saw me struggle trying to do it all, and then I had to surrender and let go and say, hey, you focus on this, and I focus on this, and then we just kind of we build on it. It's gonna be some trial and error. There have been some good days and a lot of bad days, but like, I feel my overall grade for the first quarter, I gave myself a B. And the B is because I feel like we are heading in the right direction. We have a robust marketing plan that consists of still postcards. I'm still integrating the stuff we used to do before, but as opposed to having a 3-minute video that's 90 seconds. 90 seconds of an agent talking about themselves, showing them, walking them through each room and talking. Good luck. I mean, I'm already tuned out.
I do want to say, if you are a newer agent, or if you're just watching this and you just want to learn more about marketing, it's okay to start smaller. I know we discussed getting a videographer, but you could be your videographer.
Yes.
If you get a good quality camera, or maybe you could use your phone. I know we mentioned iPhone quality photos, but I don't mean like those are blurry. That's what I'm referring to. Or the color is off. You could start filming from your phone. All you need is a little cheap tripod. Could be $20, $30. And then honestly, you just start your own. And you can use CapCut. That's a very good app. Very user-friendly if you're starting at first. And that's just a good way to start as well. But obviously still, if you're going that route, obviously still provide good content.
And it comes down to having a plan.
I think date-based plans are so important because they give you deadlines. And if you're a procrastinator and you say, oh, I don't have a deadline, you're just going to keep pushing it.
Yep. And it breaks down, like, here's the thing. Like, there's nothing you can't learn in this era of YouTube. Like, you can learn all this stuff. I tried to become an editor, And I was like, nope, it's going to consume so much of my time because I know my personality. I know that it's just not a good way for me to spend my time. Could I do it? I have no doubt I can do it. But my time is used more efficiently doing other things. So could it be done? Yes, it can be done. You can edit and do all this stuff. But just again, it just depends on your personality. For me, that's why I hire talented people like yourself, where just like me, I have different hats that I have to deal with my clients. You have different hats in operating and managing and making, like, again, having people around you that will tell you, hey, you know what? You trying to edit this film is probably not the best way you should spend your time. You should probably get on your little phone. I'm about to pick up a dialer phone because that's how old I am, man. We used to dial. Now you can use a Mojo and it dials for you. But come to me and say, hey, as opposed to you organizing and thinking of what we're going to talk about next week, why don't you get on the phone and talk to these past clients? And that's, for me, a better way to spend my time in lead generating and letting the professionals, Casey, and my guy behind the mic right here, Lito, with the marketing and stuff. And obviously, I'm hands-on. I know exactly what's going on. I chime in, but I trust the process. I have to trust the process and say, hey, that the people that I've empowered to help me take my business to the next level, I hope that they're doing what they're supposed to be, and they have. And just staying on top of it and the most important thing in creating new content is consistency. Is just doing it consistently, like anything else. If you show up and do the work, you will be busy. And it's the same thing when it comes to our marketing. Regardless.
Definitely. I've learned quite a bit from Charlie, a little bit about myself. So I do have another remote job. Don't we all? Everyone has to do at least 2 jobs. But when I started, I did not know much about marketing because my previous job experience is I did clearances for TV shows, which is copyright and trade name, basically making sure people don't get sued, which is kind of important if you're doing a show. So obviously I had no prior experience about marketing. And I think a lot of things that helped me in the beginning is I definitely looked at like user-friendly things such as like Canva, like CapCut, things like that. And I started paying attention to what other people are posting. I'm not very social media. Yes, I post my photos, but I don't pay attention why people are posting that or like what styles or what's trending. I never cared for anything like that. But obviously, if you want to do this type of job, you need to pay attention to that. And I'm just sharing that a little bit because sometimes you think maybe you can't do it. Like you can't be in front of a camera or you just don't want to talk. Like if you really put your mind to something, you can definitely do it. Like now I started my little side business because I didn't think I could do it at first, but I do like animal care like on the side. So it's like overnight boarding. And how I started growing, I have a client at least every day. And how I really started is Facebook groups, like in looking at successful businesses that already do that, like from their home or even boarding facilities. I paid attention to how they market, like what demographics they were looking at, and it showed me like that's how they were successful. It was trial and error. There's some things that definitely didn't work for me because I'm smaller, I'm in home. Obviously, I can't hire a professional photographer to be taking photos of me with the dogs. So my little selfies are it, but it feels more personal to my clients when I do that. So that's just my little snippet.
There is really no reason why any realtor cannot provide content base, especially with AI creating it for you. So there's really no reason why we can't be doing this. So
it also writes love letters, if you wanted to know.
It also writes apology letters too, by the way.
I've gotten a couple.
Yeah, I've gotten those. But what I'm trying to say is like, it might not go the way you had it planned, but guess what? It might work. You can do all of this work, and you can do it for 6 months. and they could not bring you one piece of business, and you have to be okay with that. Okay, but are you willing to put in the work and have faith and trust the process that this will pay dividends, not right now, but down the line? It's just stepping your game up. It's like anything, and and I fall prey to that where I get very passive. I get very conservative. I just rely on the work I've done in the past, and I can live off my referrals and live a comfortable life. As long as you have a plan, you have accountability, you surround yourself with good people, it's always key to have, hey, if you want to do yourself cool, or hiring people to educate you for this, and then hiring them to help you produce these videos or the content. I think that's a very, especially for real estate agents, we get paid too much not to have people like that in your life. And if you're not, it's because you're just, in my book, just lazy, or unwilling to adapt. Because guess what? If you do not do this now, 6 months from now, something new will come out. 6 months from that point on, and you're just going to be left behind. And that's my biggest fear.
I'm not going to let that happen.
There you go. It better not. No, but that one of the things is just making it all smaller. Again, this robust, but it's true.
I think he just likes to say that word.
I like to say the word, but it's true. It's just changing it. It's aggressive marketing, not in the sense of being very aggressive with the people, but just like, hey, it's more tactical based. I'm letting the numbers dictate what I'm doing. If I see something that is not performing, then guess what? I won't do it again. And then we adopt and we just shift. But it's, you got to have fun with this, man. Like, and that's one thing that I take pride on, is trying to adapt, is trying to. Even
if it means spending some money, like paid advertisement.
Paid advertisement. So again, that's something that I'm learning, that I used to do back in the past, but I don't do anymore. So that's something that we're going to be.
When I say paid advertising, I'm specifically talking about like on social media. Like there's ways to boost your posts specifically for the area. Like just like you do with postcards, you focus on that area that listing is in. Or even if you're a business, like where your focal point is, you can definitely do that on social media through boosting ads on Facebook and Instagram. They're integrated now, so it can go on both sides, which is good. There's some people that are on Facebook, and I know a lot of people are shifting to Instagram, but like honestly, I do animal care. Most of my business comes from Facebook. I have not gotten a single client from Instagram, but I have that as an option anyways.
Absolutely. And the pay-per-clicks, it's an important part, because I've again, doing this a while, I've paid for Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, I've paid for Sync leads, where people, and SEO people, where they drive traffic to your website, and it's good. But I feel doing it this way, organically, creating content and having that as a secondary option it's a good feeling to have, saying, hey, once I have my foundation base, I know the direction we're going, I can go ahead and pay for this right here. But it's having a plan. It's just not finding the easiest thing to do, because this is hard. It's very hard, and sometimes you have days where you don't want to do it.
Definitely.
But then you do
Today, I did not want to get ready for this.
But you can get better. I don't enjoy necessarily being in front of a camera all the time, but
he does. He's lying.
I don't know about that.
He's always like, selfie?
No, but I will do something until I'm not scared of it anymore. But it's, again, it's
you have to be willing to make sacrifices.
Yes.
I know that you can feel shy and things like that, but that's not going to work.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yep. So,
and sacrifices in terms of, like, obviously a lot of things we talk about, like some of that is free if you do it yourself. Yes. Obviously your time is money, but at the end of the day, you're not putting your actual dollars into it.
And that's why having a team around you is very key, though, for guidance and just kind of debriefing.
And making them laugh.
And making me laugh. And it's better. But
better.
Again, if you're by yourself, it's not to say you can't do this. Anything is attainable. As long as you have the plan and you're willing to do it, put in the work, then you'll be fine. And if not, and you're my competition, keep doing what you're doing, because I'm going to come in there and take your clients. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to come in there, I'm going to reach the people that you're looking for, and they're going to see a video of mine that's strategic, you know, and they're going to say, hey, how come, well, guess what? How come my agent is not doing that? Because I'm trying to get in front of this, because this is going to be the norm. This is not like, hey, I'm not trying to get ahead of people. I'm just trying to.
You are.
I am, but it scares me. Like, that's what kind of wakes me up. Like, hey, how am I going to become irrelevant? And the way you stay irrelevant is by standing still and not being willing to adapt and try new things and put in the work. And guess what? And we might try some stuff and it might fail. It might flop. Well, guess what? Well, I guess we're not going to do that again. So again, that's why when I go into a listing presentation, I tell them exactly, this is exactly what we're going to be doing from the beginning. And there are literally, before the property hits the market, the MLS, I can assure you that there's been at least, what do you say, about maybe at least a good 10 to 15,000 people that have at least seen the property in some capacity
before it's even on the market.
Yeah, by either our weekly market update that touches about 4,000 people, what's the other one? Our pay-per-clicks, what's the other one?
On social media as well, when we give them the sneak peek or.
Well, yeah, you do a slide out. You have it's a combination of everything where you can go down the list, and this is just before it hits the market. And then obviously once it hits the market,
you go into overdrive.
Yeah, and then by then you have a nice following. Hopefully by then the house is somewhat already sold, because you have agents and buyers calling you to see your property. Now that is something that is valuable that we try to demonstrate to our sellers and our clients, and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. We're essentially trying to win the war before we even set a foot on the battlefield. So
I would like to say, don't focus on like your follower count. Honestly, it should be on who's viewing it. Exactly. If you're getting the views, that's more helpful than getting the followers. Because a lot of the times, especially if you're a realtor, that I have noticed is that other realtors follow you, and at the end, that's not what you should pay attention to. You should be like, your whole point of this is to get more clients at the end of the day.
And that's something I had to learn, because I thought, I'm like, hey, I don't have that many followers. I'm like, and she made this, and that's very true. You have people, but honestly, the funny thing is, I'm getting people literally saying, hey, you know what? That was kind of helpful what you did there. I'm like, and in my back of my mind, I'm like, really? You saw that was helpful? But it works.
And it was probably my idea.
It works. But just being consistent. Again, time will expand for the stuff that's important in your life. Okay, you think you're like, and that's what I thought. I'm like, I have to shoot all day Wednesday. What am I going to do? Well, guess what? I still check my emails. I still make calls in between breaks. I still follow up with people. I'm still lead generating, which is, again, the heart of what any good agent should be doing. It should be lead generating. It shouldn't be, what are some of the things? Because sometimes my OCD kicks in where I'm rearranging the office.
He's rearranged the office on me every time. I'm a traveler. So every time I'm gone for like, it could be a weekend, I come back, he's like, hey, I didn't like that. So here, this is it now. He even added a TV while I was gone. Or like the whole office would be different plants. And I was like, I like the other ones. But it's okay because it looks better.
No, but at the end, it's just having a plan and just going and putting in the work and stuff, because that's my biggest fear. And I come into work, and if you're not doing it, then please keep not doing it, because guess what? I'm going to be doing it, and I'm going to keep, and I'm coming after you. I mean, this is the business approach that I'm taking with my team, because you can't be comfortable. Change does not happen when you're comfortable. It's impossible. Why would you change if you're comfortable?
We do hope that this was helpful for you. Yep. And I know that everyone says marketing is important, but I hope this gave you the in-depth explanation as to why that is, and even gave you some ideas of what you can do as a realtor or in your business.
I would like to know one thing. So what if you had to recommend one thing that someone can do out there, either a realtor, but more important, like a small business, what's the one advice you'd want to give them?
Honestly, find your reason, your motivation for doing it. That's the most important.
Your why.
And your target audience. Like, you find that. But in terms of, like, what content, videos, like reels, because the way I've noticed is with algorithms, people want to watch videos now. They don't want to see just pretty pictures.
Amen.
They're like, no, I need more. I need more. I do that personally.
And videos that are short clipped.
Yes.
Not long, elongated.
I'm not watching it if it's over a minute. I promise you.
Yeah.
I will not. Maybe 10 seconds in, I'm like, oh, I saw how much time is left. No, thank you.
Yes.
And what I've noticed with the algorithm is if you have videos, it'll push it to more people. Yes. Because more people are scrolling to see videos versus going on their feed to see pictures. Like, when we started posting, I definitely see, like, if you have an Instagram account or a Facebook account and you put it as a business account or a creator account, depending on what you're doing, it will show you, you can do view insights. It will show you how many impressions or how many views people did it. Not just your likes. Your likes are not, obviously that's important, but how many people it's being pushed to matters even more. Yeah. And then obviously with Reels, we definitely noticed that like maybe only 200 people saw our Instagram post and maybe we got 20, 90 likes on that. But when we do video content, we have some that have 2,000 views. We don't even have 2,000 followers. So I would definitely say that's more important because maybe they're not looking for your service, or maybe they like your personality, or maybe they just like your content. Like if for the animal care one, for example, they just love cute animals. They're like, oh, the content's there. Like, I'm going to follow you, and maybe they'll recommend you to somebody else.
Who doesn't like a cute dog or a cat?
I even take care of a tortoise. I have two, Squirtle and Leonardo.
A turtle.
I had a snake. He got out of the cage.
But and I'm glad you mentioned that because I firmly do believe that that's where our business is going. It's video content based. And that is, again, I'm not out here trying to promote that everyone should just do social media. No, by no means. What I'm trying to say is having important video content and that's something that you produce or do consistently will get you there. And I'm a firm believer, obviously, the outlets that we have are, TikTok. I had to learn how to spell that. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But again, what I'm saying is like by creating the content, it'll make everything else that much more easier because there's a purpose, there's a plan, there's a call to action. You're just not saying stuff, hey, look at my house. No, there's a purpose. You're using the AdWords, using the right words, the right hashtags, talking and making sure the clips are purposeful. There's a plan behind it. And each day there's a different plan. So on Monday we have one and on Tuesday we have a different one. That's what I'm saying. Like we're doing this way before, and it takes a little while to get used to, but once you got it dialed in, like you're like, wow, it's impossible to go back because this is the way of the future. And then guess what? Pretty soon it might be, you never know, it might be holograms. It might be, it might be AI, as
AI is getting started. Well, no, I believe it.
As real estate agents, they're coming to get our positions and our jobs, Redfin, bless their heart, they have the best interface of anyone out there to search for properties. I have to give them credit, but they also give money back. They give money, and that kind of dilutes our pool of agents. And you have other agents that are willing to do it for less commission. I'm like, well, that's lazy, but that's fine. That's their cup of choice. I'm more of a value base. My value, I will demonstrate to you your value. And I can assure you with the example of, let me come in your house. We're listing that house on Huxley for $699. Our clients put in $10,000 with staging, and before it looked, we were at $5.25, maybe $5.50. So, I'm sorry, $5.99. Sorry, $6.99. I got a little too carried away. But what I'm trying to say is, we were at $5.25, $500. Now we're at $5.99, and we put a little bit of money, a little imagination, sprinkling some marketing content with a call to action, directing them to our site. That will automatically take them to YouTube. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, you are going through the whole marketing sector and yeah, if they want to check you out, of course they're going to want to see your website. Hey, let me take a look at that. And then they can download their free How to Get Your Offer Accepted guide. Or
how to stage your house. Like, what are the steps?
Exactly. And it all revolves around content-based information. This is not just for social media. This is something that you can provide in a text message blast to buyers that are looking just for Silver Lake. You can send them this video on a click of a button, and it'll take you 2 minutes because you have the content to distribute. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a content-based business. This is not all around being social media. No, it's an important, yes, but it's content and having the content for the people that are looking for it. I have, I can't, like you said, a minute long, forget about it. Like, I'm not watching it. I'm in and out 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds, and that's as much time because I got to scroll to my next cool thing, or bunnies or turtles or golfer. I'm a big golfer, but again, vying for people's attention is very difficult, especially now. So
definitely. And
let me chime in for a second. Sorry, guys. So this is Litos. One thing I wanted to just chime in on this, because it's really important, is that Charlie, you're mentioning like content and how important it is and the value of it. What people sometimes don't realize is that the content that you create for video can be used for your paid media. So it can be used for your Facebook ads, your YouTube ads, for TikTok ads. They're obviously used for your social media content. And if you strategically shoot the content that you're creating, you can easily use that on a 9:16 format for which is kind of like the story size for your social media. But you can also edit that in a 16:9 for YouTube, so that it can be used for multiple platforms. It can be used for multiple things, for your paid media, for your social media. It could be used for your email blasts or your email marketing campaigns. So anything that that you create content for on the video side and even on the photo side, I mean, you throw some graphics over it, and it becomes kind of like this evergreen flow that you can kind of have just different marketing materials for your entire business.
Yo, that is the genius behind this. So I don't want to embarrass him, but that's Lito. He's got his company. We're gonna throw a plug for that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have never thought of that, like changing the size, but I'm learning. I'm willing to learn. I'm thirsty to know, but it's, you surround yourself with like-minded people, good things will happen. I'm a firm believer in that.
I am the good thing.
There you go. See?
So is Lito.
And Lito, again, but this is like stuff, right? What he just said, that is so important to know that I would have never known. But again, like for me, I'm willing to pay a percentage of it to hire people around me, but that's because I want to provide the best service to my clients.
Which we do.
That is my number one objective. Casey will attest to this. It comes from the top down. If we mess up, it's not the team messes up, I messed up because I'm steering the ship. I will never throw anyone under the bus. It's always me. But then I come in and I'm learning how to not be a tyrant, per se.
Definitely.
But I'm listening.
I concur.
I'm listening, but at the end of the day, we have to improve because, again, I want to make this the real estate experience for my clients to be memorable in a good way, and for them to say, hey, thank you. And we'll show you pictures of people, me holding their babies. They invite me to their quinceañeras, their baptisms. That is what I love. That's the reason I love what I do. I love seeing that face, the face, and you realtors will understand that face when you give the keys to their very first house. There's no greater feeling knowing that I put this family's future for the better. It's just a great feeling, and that joy is what makes me keep coming back. But at the same time, that joy always.
And I thought it was me.
It is, but it also makes me want to keep improving. And then, like what he mentioned with Lito mentioning about the marketing and having the content and being able to put it into TikTok and just having the people around you is so key. It's so key. So hire right people, hire smart people, and just put in the work. Those are the main things that I want, that I'm doing, and just
Maybe
having
hire kind of funny people so it's a little entertaining.
a little entertaining, but having a plan, man. Like, you're just not throwing stuff out there. You gotta have them come to your website. The website leads to this, to your YouTube channel, and there's stuff that they can download that is value based. Remember, I can't stress this enough. We are in a value based business. The moment you lose your value, then guess what? The robots, Terminator, the open door, whoever is going to replace us will replace you. Hopefully, I'll still be here providing value, content, and just helping as many families as I can, man. That's my goal. That's it, you know.
So again, this is Casey and Charlie from Coronado Real Estate Group. And stay tuned for more information.
Thank you, guys. This was our first podcast, so I think we did okay. Let us know.
Exceptional.
Let us know.
And follow our social medias,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
TikTok especially, because you'll see my handiwork.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye.